Hi, well I recently put a series up on making this pair of clogs, and what I want to talk about today are actually the soles, because I've been learning more and more about clog soles and I thought I'd share that with you. Well, it's like anything in life really, you start digging deeper and you find a lot more, and I'm fast coming to realise just how important the clog sole geometry is. Let me just explain. These are the little children's clogs, and if you sort of look at it, when you move forward you can roll them. They sort of nicely raised toe, nicely curved, and the curve sort of starts just before the ball of the foot, which means as a child is running along, you can imagine it, can't you, in these, some little child back in the 1950s running along down the street, it rolls. Let me show you a boot. So this is not a clog, it's a standard sort of boot you'd go and buy in a boot shop. And it has quite a lot of flex in it, because you see, as you walk in a boot, what is happening is bending. I'm exaggerating here, but that sole has quite a lot of flex in it. So you can walk along and the boot will give with your foot. So you won't have any like gapping happening up here as you walk, or any clumping as you come down here, because the boot flexes with your foot. Obviously with a clog, it's like a solid wooden plank under your foot, so it can't flex, and that's why it's important to get the shape of that sole right. You want it to be rolling. People talk about rolling when you wear clogs. Now, on the clogs I made, I didn't get the sole 100% right. I still haven't got it completely right, but I've got it a lot better. I will take it off, because I've got them on as it happens, been wearing them. I've put more rubber underneath, but if I bring in close to the camera, you can probably just begin to see it. I have actually put in an extra layer of wood, and then I put in another layer of clear rubber, and then on top of that I've put some other soft rubber. What I've been trying to do basically is build up the foot, or the sole unit, just behind where the ball of your foot goes, and making it like a tipping point. The other thing I have done is I've actually taken the wood off the toe quite a lot to exaggerate, so the toe now has more toe lift and the whole clog tips just behind the ball of your foot, just like on these children's ones. Far more exaggerated toe and far more of a tipping point just here, and that's the key really. It took me quite a long time to work all of this out, so I have here prototype, failure. Tipping point was far too far forward. If you think of your ball of your foot, it's sort of the joints underneath where your toes meet the main bit of your foot. It's the bit that sort of sticks down when you put your bare foot on the ground and rock it a bit. That's your ball. You want your tipping point with your clogs to be just behind that ball. I have plenty of failures. Another failure, another failure. I've just been trying to get it exactly right, and you learn a lot obviously by failures. So anyway, I have now, I think, got success. I'm very happy with this one. I'll show you on the bench, but I think this is actually tipping correctly. So what I'm going to be doing with this sole unit is actually making some clog boots, and this is a boot last. Now, slight problem. The ready-made lasts I could get hold of are all just like military boot lasts, and I wanted one with more toe uplift. So what I have done, I hope this sort of works, it's a bit of a fudge in a way. I have opened the hinge of the last very slightly, just to bring the toe up. Now time will tell whether I get my fingers burnt doing that, but I think it will work. I have tried these just by strapping them to my feet and they're feeling pretty good. So I think I've got it about right. So I've got a bit more, not much, but another probably 15mm additional toe lift. A boot always has more front toe lift here than a shoe does. So I'm hoping that will work. It's a nice alder sole and it's all ready to take a simple leather thick, I'm going to use a thick veg tan for the upper this time. So that will be a fairly quick video. I'll do it as a separate video, the actual making of the boots, but having obviously done a lot of groundwork in the earlier clog shoe videos, I thought I'll do a boot one as well. But I really just wanted to draw attention to this tipping point, and let me just show you on the bench with this one to show you what I mean. So what I've done here, just like with the children's one, I've increased my toe lift at the front here, and I've made the heel a little bit shorter, again a bit like on the children's, it's got a shorter heel. And if you think of the ball of the foot being with the widest point on your last, so the ball of the foot is about there, I've actually put my tipping point starting just behind the ball of that foot. So I'm hoping that that will now, if I take that off, it feels nice on my foot. Do you see how as you lean forward that starts tipping? Well, I'm hoping that will be just perfect. It feels good because if you think of all your muscles working, I think that gives a nice tip, and there's enough toe spring or toe lift here to actually easily be clearing the ground as you're walking. So I'm hoping that does it. I've got it all nicely hollowed out, and I've got a pair I've made up, so we'll see how we go with these. So I'm going to do a video or two, won't be many, just on making these into some boots. If you can imagine a simple leather upper going on top, there'll be a pair of boots, and I'm going to do them in a really basic traditional sort of way with just using thick veg tan leather. So it's all learning, but I hope that whole business about the tipping points makes sense. And okay, how are my shoes that I made now? I would say I haven't got it 100% right because I think there should be more toe uplift. I am getting smoother walking now. When I first had done these without doing the adjustments, it was tending, because there's no flex, it was tending to slightly sort of gap at the back and slightly elephant clamp coming down. I have largely eradicated that now. I think I'm like 85% there with these. I'm hoping with these, with the modification of the higher toe, bringing the tipping point a bit further back, that I will be on the nail. But I wanted to share that with you because if you want to sort of think about making some clogs, do think about the rolling feet and your tipping action. All this little detail you pick up, and of course someone who's been doing this for years would obviously learn all of this, and it's the little finer points that, you know, give you perfection. So my journey on clogs has not finished. It will continue. So see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. I think I'm nuts at times, but never mind. It's all good fun, isn't it?